is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band, different artist, and we break down one of their records. We get into the music, the lyrics, how it was made, and everything in between. My name is Tyler. Way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. We also have a special guest all the way from Britland, merry old England. That would be Skip from Birmingham, England. Thousands of miles away, like 4,000 miles away from us right
billions
now.
And billions and billions.
8 hours ahead of us right now. So there we go. We got Skip over here. While you're listening, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. All the social media is at Asinine Radio. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button.
Smash that subscribe button, bro.
Go do that. So yeah, we're doing Nirvana, Bleach, their first record from 1989.
This is their first
Let's get into
record.
this.
Most people don't know
The first record. This is most people don't know it. So with Nirvana, let's get into our origin story with the band. Order is going to be Jeff, Mr. Skip, and Britland, and then myself. So what do you got, Jeff? What's your origin story with the Nirvanas? Go.
There it is. So, I mean, there's 2 here, right? Like, we all listened to Nirvana growing up because it was everywhere. It just, I mean, maybe, I don't know if in Britland, but in America for sure, it was fucking everywhere. My mom had Nevermind as a CD. But, like, my true, I guess, origin story is when we kind of started the pod. When we did In Utero first was when I really like dove into Nirvana and listened to so much. And I was like, wow, dude, these guys are fucking, this is pretty dope stuff, actually. And lucky for me, since I don't really like Nirvana that much prior to like doing it on the pod, I just never like listened to them very often. So these songs never really got old. Like I can listen to even like Smells Like Teen Spirit. And I'm just like, oh, that's still a fucking dope song. And I like it. And I still kind of like, we'll jam to it if we have nothing else to jam to because everybody knows it. And it's not overplayed for me because I didn't listen to it constantly throughout the past 15, 20 years. So that's nice. So when you guys talk about like all apologies or whatever they are that are overplayed, I don't get that. I think that's fucking awesome. It's cool. It's great.
That's a weird feeling. That must be a weird feeling.
It's weird to hear you guys say like it's overplayed. I'm like, dude, like, I don't know. It's a fucking killer song. Like, no, it's a good song, but like it's just overplayed. Like I've listened to it maybe a handful of times. So that's fun.
All right. So your origin story really is the pod.
Yeah, it really is the pod when we did the deep dive into it. Otherwise, it's just, I mean, I knew the lyrics to Smells Like Teen Spirit, All Apologies, About a Girl, Come As You Are. Like I knew those ones because they play them at fucking Walmart now. So, But other than that, like everything else, I never heard.
Yeah. All right. We'll skip. What's your origin story?
Well, it's the reason we're here. Is I mean that's our
that's true
agreement.
too.
Our gentleman's agreement is that you guys cyberbully at least pod talking is hard.
We cyberbully
Hold on, dude.
You bully me over the internet at least once a week, 3 or 4 times for those who are on the Discord.
Oh yes.
Huge shout out to the Discord. Get on the Discord,
Thank
guys.
you.
Smash that subscribe button. Get online. They're multi-platform. But the deal is that I can basically demand to occasionally guest on the pod. That's
true.
Yeah. So recently it was the 35th anniversary of Album of the Week, Bleach by Nirvana, and this
June 15th.
is.
Yep.
Thank you, fact checker Tyler. You're already beating your Radiohead.
I know these
work.
things.
I know.
I'm already what?
Beating your Radiohead.
You on the Radiohead episode was
moderating.
something
Oh
else.
yeah.
What now is on? Now people can
continue.
see him moderating. He's moderating. I like it.
Continue.
I don't know what he does there half the time. He just fucking sits there and doesn't do his job and just
like the presidential debate. We're just going to start muting microphones. No, but we won't fact check.
I could do that too. I do have the power to mute your guys' mute mics too.
No. It's a shame you let Trump tell 34,000 lies. Anyway, but also you had essentially a corpse.
That's okay. We got to hear about their golf game for fucking 5 minutes, so that was fun.
I know your swing.
Yes, the presidential debates.
I know your swing.
Yeah, that was.
Anyway, so the reason we're here, origin story, is this is literally, Jeff, the first album I ever bought. I bought this with my own money. This was the first record. So this would have been like 2000. So like I'd heard the Blink 182s, like the Sum 41s, the kind of Britland indie that was going around, probably the Strokes and all of this. But, you know, it's when you you're sort of 9-10 years old, you start to discover your own music. And a friend of mine, friend of the pod, had come round. Friend of the pod had come round with it must have been Nevermind, I guess. I don't know, or like a burnt CD, but like I'd heard some Nirvana, and fuck me, I never heard a guitar sound like that. Like you're 10 years old and you hear,
Yeah.
So I went out we used to have this chain store called Music Zone, which was like dirt cheap CDs, like the cheapest you could buy a CD, like, because they were always in like, they smelt of BO, like they were dirty little, like it was like we buy like 1 billion CDs and we just fucking throw them in like a warehouse and you come and buy them sort of vibe. So I bought Bleach. My friend, I remember being like, why have you bought this one? You don't know any songs off it. And I was like, because it's the first one. And that's the whole, this is pre-streaming. Of course I know any fucking songs off it. I was like, so you start at the beginning. Doi.
Yeah.
Doi. No doi.
No doi. You gotta give it
gotta spit on that thing. There's actually a guy on the Swiss team, and his name is No Doi. It's Ndoye.
I believe it's pronounced Doi.
No, but they pronounce it Endoy. They say Endoy, but every time I just think No Doi. Yeah.
No doi.
No Doi. But yeah, continue. Sorry.
I purchased this for like £8 English. Jeff's great one. My Augustina Brauer Helles. Yeah. With the cheeky eyebrows. Yeah.
That shit down. It's garbage.
Strong 3 out of 3 across the board, boys and girls. Listen to the first fucking part of the pod before listen to the second part of the pod. You'll miss the in-jokes. Come on, people. Fucking basic.
So yeah, Bleach was your first one.
First one ever
from a warehouse, from a CD warehouse in
in
Birmingham.
So we've gone with the 1990.
That smells like BO.
It smells like BO. Yeah, so that's my origin story in the Nirvanas. And I can remember sitting in like a car, preferably my mum's car, probably my mum's car, with like, these old CD players and earbuds with wires, kids. There were wires that connected these things to these things back in the day. And that down-tuned C riff came in. Dum, 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 dum. And now I'm a bass player.
Oh, I'm blue.
Now I'm a bass player. And
because of that song, yes.
Basically, yeah. Spoiler: it's not my biggest beat. Ooh, yeah, not even intentional. So yeah, first, like my origin story is literally it's like origin of, and now I work backwards into like the bands Kurt loved, and then forwards into the bands that were aping Nirvana. And here's my fucked up music taste. I still dress like it's 1991.
All right. So my origin story, honestly, I don't really remember hearing them much as growing up. My parents weren't into. My dad was into talk radio. My mom liked 70s rock, like Queen, Rush, Ted Nugent, shit like that. So when the 90s came along, she just wasn't into. She was getting more into country, Garth Brooks, Shania Twain, that kind of shit. So I never listened to Nirvana. But it was in 1999. I was listening to K-Rock, which is a local station here in LA, rock station, world famous K-Rock. Smells Like Teen Spirit came on.
For me, bro. Like,
just in case, I don't know. You guys are pretty isolated.
It's world famous.
That island.
That's what it's in the fucking name.
But Britland is they're kind of anyway. I wasn't gonna say that, but okay. But yeah, Smells Like Teen Spirit came on the radio. That opening riff, it changed everything. It literally changed everything for me. My whole music taste changed that day when I heard Smells Like Teen Spirit. I had never heard anything like it. I'd heard The Offspring. My first CD I ever got was Green Day's Dookie in '94. So it's like I was into rock. I was into punk music. I liked it. But for whatever reason, I never heard Nirvana until like 1999. And just everything changed. I just became absolutely obsessed with them. And I just begged my parents to take me to Best Buy, go buy the Nevermind CD. And I did. And I swear to God, I listened to the CD at least once a day, every day for at least a year, at least. Like I was just so obsessed with it. And then just going down the rabbit hole of buying everything else. So I got Bleach from the warehouse, which is what used to be a music store here. I got In Utero from Best Buy. I got Incesticide from Best Buy. I got, from the Muddy Bigs to the Wishcock, because a friend of mine was playing that on a CD player. And I heard Smells Like Teen Spirit again, the live version, which was so different. I've just been so obsessed with this band since I was like 10 or 11 years old. So yeah, that's my origin story. It Smells Like Teen Spirit. It literally changed everything about music for me.
Monumental,
so,
man.
There you
It's
go.
a monumental song.
There you go.
Yeah.
So let's get into the album. We're not doing Nevermind. We're doing Bleach, their first record. Like I said, from 1989, June 15th, 1989. We just celebrated the 35th anniversary of this damn record, which is crazy. So let's get into. I mean, Skip, kind of, you already got into the initial thoughts on this one, but yeah, on Bleach, what do you got, Jeff? Go.
This is fun because the more when we started collecting the vinyls, the more I got into stoner rock and doom metal and all this weird sludgy stuff. I come back to Bleach and I think like, man, if I didn't know how to define grunge, that's exactly what I would call this record. It's just this fucking stoner rock metal record, because that's basically what it is. And yeah, like the guitar tones are a little one-dimensional, but man, I love this shit. It's so fucking dark and it's so gloomy and it's so sludgy and nasty. But it also has some like times here where it's about a girl. Like, what the fuck? What, like, you know what I mean? Like, these are glimpses into what is going to become arguably one of the greatest records that's ever been made. And I think that's amazing. That's my first impression. What are you shaking over there?
I know, I'm hearing all this clicking, clickety clacking.
Oh, it's me. Sorry. I'm opening new windows so I can look at my notes the same as looking at your beautiful faces.
Beautiful face. Yeah, that's my first impressions there.
That's your first impression. All right, Skip. So, I mean, you want to add anything else to your kind of, obviously,
yeah, I mean, I
first
guess
impression is your origin.
To Bleach as a whole, rather than just like, because I say, like, my origin story is literally my origin story of music, which is why I kind of wanted to go in on that bad boy. Just a kind of a overview, I guess, is to me, this is the pre-Pixies influenced Nirvana. Like, Surfer Rosa came out in like mid '88, so most of these songs were probably kind of written or half formed at the very least, because this is what it came out in June '89. Realistically, it's recorded like early '89, isn't it? I mean, it was a pretty quick turnaround with $600 and loose change, isn't it? This is their only true grunge album. It's very Melvins indebted. It's quite small town. It's very debut. This is, to my mind, Kurt's best vocal record. We'll probably touch on it more, but like, if you especially listen to Liza, like if you listen to Wishka, especially, and the nice thing about Wishka is the Spotify version will actually give you the dates everything was fucking done between '89 and '91, which is when he started to really get into heroin, about 1990, like, and also started touring a hell of a lot. Like, he loses so much low end from his vocals. Like, I mean, this guy's completely
that's
untrained.
true. He does, yeah.
He's completely untrained.
Yeah, that's true.
He's ripping his voice out night after night. Like, the reason Frank Black can still do it is he said this thing. He's like, I learned this method of giving 40% that sounds like giving 110%, and that's why I can sing Pixies in my 50s. Kurt Cobain gave 110%, 100% of the time. And his voice, I mean, you can even hear it. Listen to the studio take, listen to it in utero. His voice is way less powerful than Bleach. It's lost all this kind of gruffness, and it's all in that top. It's all here. It's on the diaphragm. It's not from the stomach. Like, he got worse at singing, but the voice is fucking iconic, obviously. And that's why no one can like do a Kurt impression, because to do a Kurt impression, you literally have to shred your fucking vocal cords for 3 years solid. Chris Novoselic, most valued player. We'll get more into that. And I've just written in large letters, Chad's snare sucks, which we'll get more into.
Does. Yeah.
It's a very...
Not only Chad, but Dale's too. Don't
I will agree to
up Dale
disagree. You could call this record cohesive, or you could call it samey, depending on what you want to do.
Or you could call it incesticide, because it's kind of a comp too. So that's fine.
There's pop songs smothered in scuzz. And he held back a lot of songs that were already written. We know by this point, Breed, Stay Away, Polly, they were all written. And he's on record as saying, I didn't want to put them on the first album, again, because he was so worried about the indie credentials. He wanted to do a record that was Melvin's influence. He wanted to do a record that was on a tiny label, that wasn't pop, that was like, I'm I know Scratch Acid, I know Butthole Surfers, I know the Melvins. I'm touching on all this indie scene. You can see where we've come from. I'm fucking cool. But I'll throw About a Girl in there, just point out, by the way, on the greatest songwriter since John Lennon. There you go.
Ooh, that's a bold statement. Even though John Lennon wasn't the best songwriter from the Beatles, but that's okay.
No, I'm with you. But that was Kurt's thought process.
Okay. Got it. All right. Yeah, I don't know. My first impressions. This record is raw. It's fast. It's heavy. It's
not that fast,
It's
man.
just there are okay. That's fair. It's okay. It's sludgy. It's stony too. But there are some fast shit. There's some fast chuggy stuff on here.
Oh yeah, we'll get into
maybe
it.
not tempo wise, but it's just the fact that the amount of times like he's doing the kind of chuggy guitar just makes it a faster sounding song, even though the tempo is probably the same as most of the other songs. I don't know. I this is just a very unique record, but yeah, it's very amateur. It is very first record, debut record. So makes sense. So let's jump into our do we have any stinkers on this record actually?
No.
I have no stinkers.
No, I've got some
Okay,
tracks that
you'd be
bangers,
fucking stupid if
but
there
there are
was
no stinkers on this record. No.
So I have 13 bangers because we're doing the reissue track list. So up through.
So we're doing the
up through
1990 track list. So this, sorry to interrupt,
Yes.
but this is
No, it's fine.
No, sorry.
So as the Britlander, here's the weird thing. So the Britland were the first country to really pick up John Peel, R.I.P. Which are you guys familiar with John Peel? Genuine question.
No, I don't know him.
Just
Right.
because of this week and looking into like people in Britland playing Nirvana and
So
pushing them on
basically,
like alt
John
radio.
Peel, like he spent a literal lifetime. He was on BBC Radio 1, like his record collection has literally been digitally archived. It's so big. He died like 20 years ago. He had a primetime, a late night show on BBC One where he did so much for independent music. Like he is responsible pretty much solely for breaking over here like the Strokes, the White Stripes, Nirvana, like Bush, like you name a band, an alternative band from the past 30 years. And John Peel basically is responsible for their success in the UK. So he played Love Buzz and stuff on the radio when it first came out. But weirdly, the Britland version of Bleach didn't have Love Buzz on it. It had Big Cheese on where Love Buzz is in the track listing.
Yeah.
Which
on the single Big Cheese was the B side.
Was the B
Yeah,
side.
Love Buzz is leaps and bounds better than Big Cheese.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But
the CD version, which is the Spotify version, which is what we're doing, goes up to and including Downer. So Sifting was the original Finito. And
I believe the updated track listing came in '92 after Nevermind came out. I'm pretty sure. But whatever, it doesn't matter. We're doing the 13 tracks.
We're doing the 13 track version.
13 tracks.
Yeah. But
Yes.
Sifting sounds like a closer. It really does.
Well, yeah,
yes,
I mean,
we'll get there.
100%.
But I have 10 bangers
Okay, that's wrong. But
Out of 13 songs,
out of 13 songs. I have 10 bangers.
because I didn't list the bonus songs as like bangers. I just wrote notes on them. But like out of the original 11 songs, I have 9 bangers. So I would probably put.
man, you guys are both wrong.
Yeah. There are definitely
So-
2 okay songs in the original 11.
Yeah, there's nothing
tracks.
bad on here. There's okay. So hang on. So my definition of a banger, by the way, because I was really thinking about this because you guys never really define
should
it,
be.
and that's the joy of the pod. And like for
Of
rankings
course,
episode,
yeah.
for those who have jumped into the main episode first because they got overexcited, they shot the load, didn't know what's going on. We talked about the difference objective and subjective. So for bangers, my thought is if I was seeing a band live, would this be a song where I'd be pumped? Would this be a song where I'd be okay? Or would this be a song where I'd go take a piss or buy a drink? If you're
That's
an
a good.
okay
Okay,
song,
I like that.
yeah.
I like
That's
that.
really subjective too, though. Who are you with? What's the venue? Like, what's going on?
No,
that
just-
week?
That's a good
I-
point,
I go
too.
to- I go to
I
a
like
lot
all
of
the good
gigs.
points being
I
thrown
go
around
to
here.
a lot of gigs by myself. I'm doing all the good points. Like just completely in your own head. You're like, let's pretend that no one can see what you're doing. No one's judging you. A song
Except
comes
us.
on.
Me,
and you're like,
I'm judging
I'm
you.
gonna go. This is a good song to go to a bar. This is a good song to go for a slash. That's how. Or like I want to go to the front. So go to the front is like BBs. I'm like, I'm having a good time. I'm gonna get down it. That's a beat, and I might just nip out for 2 seconds. I'm listening. I'm enjoying it. That's a good song. Or fuck the shit. I'm going for a smoke. That's a stinker.
Okay.
There's no stinkers. I would never go for a smoke in a Nirvana concert in 1988. But I would go to the bar for 3 songs.
Nip out a little early, sure.
So
do you ever say nip out?
I did. I was laughing.
That's some Britland lexicon there. It's just nip out for a little chat.
Just some of the Britland things, the sayings are just. I'm just not used to hearing them.
I'm trying so hard
anyway.
not to call you Jeffrey because I know it's really patronising. It's not even your name.
It's a little whatever. I mean, it's just a name, right?
Jeff,
let's by any other name, right?
Let's get into the biggest banger. It is his name.
That's my full name is Jeffrey.
Is it actually?
His full name is Jeffrey.
Yeah, I mean you can call me Jeffrey if you like. All right,
Jeff. What's your Jeffrey? What is your number one banger? Your biggest banger? BB, what do you got? Go.
This is my favorite Nirvana song, About a Girl. That's my biggest banger. This is my favorite Nirvana song. And I think this has been my favorite Nirvana song prior to us even kind of like getting into Nirvana on the pod. I've always liked the song. It's cool. And then honestly, even more so now that I've listened to like all of Sabbath and all of these other like heavy metal sludgy stuffs. It's like he just wrote a Beatles song, but then like the Beatles did heroin and tried to be Black Sabbath, and that's About a Girl. And it's fucking amazing. Beautiful.
It is. So I mean, About a Girl is also my 1B, which is this has always been like
a punk song, dude.
I'm telling you, About a Girl has always been like bottom tier for me, but on this record, but it's my number one this week. Once again, I just had a really good time with like the poppier, catchier songs this week, and this is by far the catchiest song on the whole record.
Oh yeah,
fucking love this song. And I mean, he wrote this song supposedly. I mean, a lot of these stories that are written about Kurt, I think, are very, very exaggerated. But apparently, he listened to the Beatles album "Meet the Beatles" all night on repeat, and then the next morning he wrote about a girl, and that's why it sounds so Beatles. Sounds like Beatles.
There's a man who knew how to build a myth, huh?
Yeah,
I don't think
half the rumors you hear about Kurt, like he probably started them himself.
Oh no, like it's all in his interviews. I love the fact that. Sorry, tangent and interruption, but Buzz Aldrin, sorry, Buzz Osborne. He went to the moon and he came back and said, by the way, Buzz Osborne, he obviously was friends with Kurt, and he was like, I love Kurt, but man, that guy was so full of shit.
Yeah. But I think a lot of it was like
bullshit.
But it was bullshit, I agree, but I think it was like Kurt just fucking with the people that he's talking to, the interviewers.
Oh yeah,
he's not being serious.
The guy was so sarcastic. I mean, look at his lyrics. Teenage angst has paid off well, now I'm bored and old. You don't write that if you're not a sarky motherfucker. Like, Kurt just like playing people.
Yeah. That's Kurt.
That's Tyler. That's it. That's my point. That's
all right. So yeah, About a Girl is just, it's beyond fucking catchy. And then even to the point where in the bridge of the song, the tambourine comes in. So fucking Beatles right there. That is the Beatles.
That's the best thing Chad ever did.
And that solo is perfect too. The solo that when it drops into that bridge, it's just the solo is perfect. All the solos on this record are fantastic. They're perfectly placed. They're not. Some of them are a little bit wanky, but the right amount of wank. It's just perfect.
When you have like a solo or like an instrumental part that just plays out and then you're still singing the main melody as it's playing, like, dude, that's a good fucking pop song right there. That's silly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's what About a Girl does.
Absolutely.
Banger. Why don't you? So Skip does not like this song because he's biting his eyebrows or something over there.
It's my 8B. However, I think honestly I just had the opposite of you guys this week. Well, I kind of leaned into the grungier stuff. The first word of my notes is Beatles in large letters. What I will say for Chad, and I'm going to say some negative things about Chad, spoilers, he fucking nails the Ringo.
Yeah.
Like the little snares in another piece where he goes, and the hi-hat through the verse, you can literally see the little Ringo going.
Little skiffle shuffle thing.
Yeah, and then on a snare.
Yeah.
But that snare is so flubby. Like
The snare sounds
horrible.
like garbage. Yeah.
It's like coming after Floyd the Barber, which obviously has Dale Crover's really defined crack of a snare. Here's why Kurt's full of shit. Part 1. Follow the parts, guys and girls, because there's going to be a lot. I don't do overdub vocals. I don't believe in them. Okay, so why are you doing Beatles harmonies? Right here, the My Girl.
That's true.
Overdubbed like 4 times.
Yeah, and the amount of overdubs he did on Nevermind as well. There's a shit ton on there too.
But no, but
even though all he did was bitch and complain about that.
Butch Vig maintains Kurt never did overdub vocals until Nevermind. Right
Bullshit,
there, track 3 of Bleach. Yeah, right. I mean, it's very Beatles. He's clearly told Chad. I mean, he's literally probably. I mean, Kurt used to play drums. He's dictated the drum. Like, no, this is what you're playing, because it doesn't sound anything else like any Chad drum line. And we're gonna like. Chad wrote great riffs. He was a better writer than he was a player, which we'll get into.
I agree. Yeah.
His snare sound is off point, but it's a very Ringo feel. The hi-hats, at the end of each kind of rotation. The guitar solo is very John Lennon. Simple,
yeah, I can see that.
Effective. This is literally the first song I learned to play on guitar, actually. The reason it isn't my BB, because
you don't know what you're talking about?
No. I wish this song had been on Nevermind, because the guitar tone fucks it. It's really weak. His clean tones has always been shit. It sounds almost like it's been turned down because he's not using all that distortion, but they've been leveled at the distortion level. It's kind of weak. Like,
didn't he just use a twin reverb and a fucking boss pedal for like Bleach era?
Yeah, but the boss isn't on this. And it just sounds really. But
like the twin reverb, that's one of the greatest amps ever made. Like, it should be fantastic.
So why does it sound so weak? It
does sound weak, but it's bizarre.
Yeah. So it's weird, man. But like the guitar tone, just like it's almost like his clean tone. Well, no, it's not almost like it is. His clean tone was always an afterthought. It's a beautiful pop song. It's obviously the outlier on this record. I almost wish that he'd stuck Polly on here, that he'd stuck even just Breathe.
Polly would have been a better fit for this record than About a Girl.
I mean, as well as About a Girl.
Oh, as well.
Like,
okay.
To give it something to kind of, because it comes like betwixt like School on the one side and like Floyd the Barber. So you've got this great, I know you disagree, like this really cracking snare sound, and the Melvins were the band of the local area, and then you've got and Floyd the Barber's this weird kind of horror song. Then you've got this Beatles pop song, and then you've got this 2-note riff screaming thing. It's a really odd placement. There's nowhere to put it else. I get it. Like it's an outlier, and I feel like, I mean, he literally said I was scared to put pop songs on Bleach, but I couldn't help myself with one. And it's like, why did he choose this one? Because Polly could have been recorded like almost like new wave Polly from Incesticide, and been fine, and then like done it as the acoustic version of Unplugged, or Stay Away, or even Breathe, like would have been stronger because they used distortion. Instead, he takes this really lovely,
but you also
Beatles
like
pop song.
But like a song like Stay Away and Breed, you need those songs to balance out like the poppier elements of Nevermind, because otherwise Nevermind is going to be just
he
all
had
fucking
stuff like All Apologies and like Dumb and stuff in the can. Like I feel this song is done a disservice by being on Bleach, and that's why it's my 8B. It's a fucking great song.
That's fair.
But the way it's been recorded takes away from it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So what else you got on this one, Jeff?
That we just kind of beat that one down to the fucking grave, I think.
Yeah, and real quick,
I hate the song now.
Sorry.
So I'm just gonna. I will say that. So just overall on this record on Bleach, a lot of the lyrics were written like the day of or the day before they went in to record the songs. So there's not a lot of there's not a lot of depth to the lyrics, which is fine. That's totally fine, because there really honestly is nothing here, and people who really dive into it really deeply, they're just full of shit. They don't know what they're looking at.
This is just goddamn thing like the Kurt Cobain ever said about fucking writing music lyrics about anything. I don't believe a goddamn thing he ever said.
Yeah. So anyway, so I'll just say that. But this song is supposedly about his girlfriend Tracy Miranda, who actually took the photo of the band on the cover of this record, which features Jason Everman, who was in the band for a very short time, credited on the
You're right,
record.
it's Tracy Miranda, not Toby
But
Vale.
yeah.
I'm fact checking myself. I got
But
myself
yeah,
wrong.
so
everything I say now is bullshit.
well, of course. Well, I mean, that's what we expected anyway from you. But
Well,
I'm just kidding.
here.
But yeah, so yeah, Jason Everman also, he's on the cover of the record. He was credited as a guitar player on the record, but he never actually played on it. But he also funded the record. So this record, just some backstory real quick. He paid for the record, but it was $606.17 American, not Britland pounds.
Six.
So
117, the number of the beast.
So he funded it, and Chris has come out and said, yeah, we put him in the liner notes and credited him just to make him feel like he's in the band, like part of the family. So that's why he's on the cover.
Soundgarden after, wasn't he?
He was, yeah, for a very short time.
And then he became a soldier.
And he became a top soldier, like an aggressive soldier.
And then he had that.
Can you have
he also
passive
had that, like,
soldiers, Jeffrey?
Didn't he have that?
He had some pretty shitty soldiers over here.
I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's some backstory on the record. Also, they recorded the record in 6 days. Over 2 months, but in 6 days. So pretty remarkable.
Jason Everman.
Who didn't play on any of it. But anyway.
With Jason Everman. Sorry, I meant to do that.
So let's get into, Skip, your 1B. What do you got for this
one?
My
1B, we're going in completely the opposite direction. And we're going with Scoff.
6B for me.
Fair. I mean, how about I go as my 8B? Why have I done this as the number 1 is a very good question to ask. And I'll tell you, listeners, watchers, subscribers, and also Tyler and Jeff. This to me is the sound of Bleach, right? It's fucking grungy. I would say this is Chad's best drum performance.
For sure.
Like,
double bass, fucking red tight tom rolls of absolutely.
It's got this. I mean, you can hear this is the guy who wrote the In Bloom. Like it's that like it's that little tom roll in every chorus. Bellissimo. Like I say, he's a better writer. He writes drum riffs. He just can't quite play them. Yeah. Like.
Much like Dave Grohl too. Dave Grohl writes great fucking drum parts, but he could also play them.
That's the difference. No. Dave could play them, and like kind of actually the Nirvana secret sauce is here. You've got this big chuggy like tribal bludgeoning riff, and then this stupid repetitive kill me, yeah. Hear me, yeah. Like poppy chorus and like the screams, man. Like Kurt's vocals across this record. Like Josh Homme was like, Kaya's got, and they thought that there were 3 different vocalists in this band because Kurt's range across this album is ridiculous. Like, he's gruff, and then like when he never screams again like he screams on Bleach, whether it's because he's just young and stupid. This is pre-heroin addiction, and this is pre a lot of like it's just fucking raw. I love the stupid simple guitar break.
Yeah,
like it's so fucking like. Someone once described Bleach. I can't remember who it was. It was in like one of the many books I read as someday someone was going to take Black Flag and Black Sabbath and go, and that was Nirvana on Bleach. And I'm like,
I would agree with you on that. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, that's it. And Scoff like encompasses that. Like it's a bludgeoning groove. It's got this really like this chorus break, and Kurt does that. Like I always call it the gritted teeth vocal, where you can hear him going. He's going, but it's like there's a melody that, like, even when he's trying to hide it under this, like I'm India and Thou, I'm playing this kind of sludge metal. He can't help but these melodies.
Yeah, I get it.
It's like Scoff is Bleach, Bleach is Scoff, and that's
I would
why
agree.
it's my
I agree.
R&B this week.
And
That's it.
it's weird too because normally when it comes to the drums, like Dale's songs use a lot of the toms, use a lot of the tribal sounding things, the big hits, the big like kind of like very kind of marching kind of way of playing. And for Chad to do it on this song is a little bit weird, but it works. That actually, to me, it works better than Dale does it on the 3 songs that he's on, which I think are like lower tier. Most of them are lower tier songs on the record, but no, but no, it fits the song really well, especially with those chugging guitars. I agree with you, but also the chorus is very like has this very soaring feel to it. You know, just the way that Kirk's singing, the way he's singing on top of his riff. Like one thing that I love about Kurt is that much like Bradley and Sublime, he's one with his guitar. So like when he's singing and playing guitar, like they're just intertwined so perfectly. Obviously Kurt does it in a much heavier way, but I feel that's like the best way to describe it is Bradley and Kurt.
Like fuck it, I'm just gonna like.
There he goes.
Honestly, I'm not gonna play the song. I mean, this is in open E, but like where it's like, and like it's so simple, and it's just like up down. That's it.
But it works. Like it works perfect for his vocal melody with the vocal melody. So
how interactive! That was so interactive.
It was pretty interactive.
Dang.
Impressive, most impressive.
Wild.
But what do you have? What do you have on this one, Jeff? On Scoff?
So like this is my 6B, and these were tough because like after, I think when I get to like my 7B is kind of when I like the sound overall, but I'm picking the song apart. Scoff is like the first time where I think like the song as a whole is weaker than its individual parts, because some of these songs, they're kind of like, but then you think, oh, that was a fucking rad part. That was a dope part. Like Scoff, right? The double bass, the fucking tom rolls, like those are fucking amazing. And like some of the chuggiest of chuggies are on this song, the entire record. And it's fucking insane. The chuggiest of chuggies. And Kurt's solo's like one of my favorite solos on the record. It's just truly D-gap, dude.
Solo.
Like I don't give a fuck, man. If this is not just annoying punker like wannabe, then I don't know what is. It is just stupid in every best way, and I like it. But it's my 6B because I think overall as a song as a whole, it's not as great as its parts. But it's still, I mean, it's still a banger. It's 6B. 6B.
Yep.
Like I don't disagree. Like I say, this week I let into the grungy stuff rather than the poppy stuff. But I completely see what you're saying. Love it.
And lyrically, once again, nothing too deep here, but what I get it's about his drunk dad who treats his son like shit, and that's what it is. Like a lot of this is like his issues with his parents on this whole record, issues with his parents and his own insecurities.
Town, I'm pissed off bullshit. Yeah.
But that's really what this
that's
one
very
is.
Grunge. It's very
it
of
is
its time. It's very of its place.
All right, so we're good with Scoff. Let's get into well, my 1B is about a girl, so let's get into Jeff's 2B. What's your second banger on this record? Go.
2B, Blue.
Blue? That's my 2B too. What is going on, dude?
Banger.
Dude, that would be wild if our banger. Well, we can't because they're not all bangers for me, but so far so good, I guess. Yeah, Blue's my 2B, and it's just
It's my 5.
This is your 5.
dude.
That's dumb.
I love how metal this shit is.
Dumb's
man.
on in utero.
That's true.
Oh, got him.
So what do you got on this one, Jeff?
See. I love how he just kind of like slurs all of his words. Like his vocals are so fucking lazy and dirty and just so silly. Also, like Chad's cymbals, do they sound like fucking like trash can lids or some shit? Like what is he playing
trash.
I do fucking love this song, by the way. Like
he's going for like an industrial sound or something, but they sound like actual garbage lids. And I mean, it's cool.
Accidentally tuned to C, isn't it? Like that's why. And Chad had to fucking quickly detune his entire fucking drum kit.
And that whole story too of like they have already been tuning down to D and they forgot and they came into the studio and tuned down to C and realized it sounded better.
That's a dumb story. I don't believe it. I don't believe
story.
that.
No, actually, do you know what? Do you know why I do? Because those guys smoked a shit ton of pot at this point.
Well, okay, so I get what you're saying, Skip, and the other story is here.
Before tuning pedals were like a big thing. Like you forget in the late 80s, A lot of bands didn't have you tune by ear. Like,
No, I get. I know you tune by ear, but you know what certain tunings sound like. Like if you're just playing standard tuning on your guitar and it's out of say the E string's out of tune, you know immediately once you hit that first
no,
chord.
I get that, but if you've been cutting some songs, let's say that on the Thursday they cut Floyd the Barber, because let's say Dale was in the studio that day, and I'm looking at my notes and it was the top song there. Spoilers, it's higher in the rankings. You go home, you smoke a lot of pot, you get a few beers in, you have a good time, you come in, you're like, oh yeah, this song's down a step. You tune down a step. You're tuning
before you even play it though, because you can hear the difference between they dropping from a D to a C.
Yeah, D to C is
so they tune before they even just like
100%. Like they listened to it and went, that sounds fucking cool. Let's record.
But like,
that.
Well, you pick up your guitar, you don't strum it.
Down a step. No,
dude. Anybody
but also,
that picks up a guitar, you're automatically going to strum it before you start tuning anything.
Oh, does it pay into the Kurt Cobain bullshit? Yeah. Did they do it accidentally because they were high and stupid and then go, this sounds better?
Maybe.
Yes.
There was also
because
there's so much
story
that they recorded this whole record or most of the record mistakenly in drop C. And then the next day when they realized that, they went back and re-recorded almost all of it back in drop D, but kept Blue on with the drop C tuning because they like the sound of it. Yeah. That I absolutely call bullshit on, because there's no way you're gonna record multiple songs in drop C and not realize that you did that.
We've literally stopped sessions because one of us is a semitone out, let alone two fucking steps. Like.
And yeah, maybe Kurt and Chris are fucking fucked up out of their minds, but Jack Endino, the producer, he's not going to catch that. Come on, or the engineer's not going to catch that. The fuck out of here.
He's being paid like fucking threepence and a bit. He's pressing play, man. That's what Jack's doing.
Threepence and a bit.
That's fair.
But anyway, it's a banger. So Jeff, continue. I've interrupted enough.
That's okay. No, you haven't. Interrupt more.
This song.
That's fine. And so we get into kind of like the stuff that I really like about this song is the solo. I like this solo here because it's very kind of like psych rock. It's very, very psyche, man. It's cool, dude. It's stonery. And like shit, Chris's bass like really shows like how long and chuggy this song is. Like he just continues that thing throughout the whole fucking song. And that's, dude, this is like a stoner rock song. Just we didn't know what grunge was, I guess, in this era. So that's what we would have classified this record as.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think this is
riff, isn't it?
the bass riff is super fucking heavy, super fucking low. But yeah, this is stoner rock. This is sludge rock of the 80s. I mean, I know they took a lot from the Melvins and other sludge bands of the era, but I mean,
a lot from the Melvins on this one.
On
this record, yeah.
But I mean, it's just like without this record, the Melvins, like you wouldn't have a lot of the stoner rock you get in the 90s and up until now. Honestly, I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of sludge metal on this record. Not really stoner rock, but sludge metal. But the song Blue puts it all together.
That's the reality. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
There's a lot of Black Sabbath fucking record on this album.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But it also, it's that bass line comes in really, really fucking heavy, and then before everything drops in, you get that feedback from the guitar. For like that split second feedback, and then the guitars and drums come in. Perfect. So simple, but perfect. Love it.
Yeah. No, I mean, actually, like, I really love. I never really thought about, and actually, this has just triggered a thing in my head, and I'm gonna just. What I always do in this pod is I have minimal notes, and I just kind of gobshite my way through it. Like obviously, yeah, that bass with the dum 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 bum bum, and I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is the only song on the album that starts with just bass. It's a great opener. It's like, this is where we're gonna.
Yeah,
go.
You're right. It is. Yeah, it's the only. That's the only song that starts with it.
Quite confident.
No, you're right. Because I'm thinking of Nevermind. Because like Lounge Act starts with the bass.
I think. Oh, you know what? Love Buzz.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Love Buzz does start with the bass.
Yeah.
Right. But does that count as a cover?
As an opener to an album, you've got this. It's tuned to C. You have this, boom, 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 and Jeff, as I said, like it's fucking.
That's what he sounds like. Yeah.
Along. You know what? I'm going to say this. One word, two syllables. Aussie.
Yeah, it is very Aussie.
The guitar riff, and he's singing this lazy kind of it's fucking. Every time I come on the pod, I end up going the phrase, "It's fucking Sabbath, man."
It is. I mean, Sabbath just influenced so many bands, but also like in this particular song, I want to compare it to Bradley Nowell from Sublime too. It's like the way that Kurt is playing his guitar with his vocal melodies. It's just it goes hand in hand. Like it, like.
And it's
very few bands
really
can do it this well.
It's a really hard trick to do. Yeah,
like you have to be so in tune as a songwriter. You have to be so in tune with your instrument. Like
Tom York does it a lot. I know you don't like the Radioheads, but no, he note matches Johnny's guitar, which is really fucking hard. To note match someone else's guitar line is even harder than note matching your own. But this isn't a radio conversation. Yeah, it's such a, and I love the fact that this song stayed in the set list as the last song till the fucking last Nirvana concert.
That's so
they
cool.
were
That's
just
cool.
like, fuck you. Like, we wrote this song when we were 20 years old. It's big, it's stupid. it's us. Like,
Yeah.
Look, thank you for your patience. Dum 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 dum. I love that Chris was a spokesperson as well for the band live. Like, Kurt didn't speak to the audience.
Yeah, he never did. It was always Chris.
Let the bass player do it. Yeah.
So do we have anything else on Blue? I mean, we have quite a few songs to go, and we're almost an hour in. So do we have anything else on Blue?
Opener. It's the only track that could have opened the record. That's my
for this record. Yeah, I don't think it's the best opener for all the records.
It's not the best of. No, it's not. No, it's not the. I would say it's on the studio records. The worst.
It's not better than Teen Spirit. No way. That's the greatest opener.
The Servants as an opener to In Utero. Come on, that couplet, Teenage Angsters paid off while now I'm bored and old. That is the ultimate kiss off to you bought my fucking record, fuck yourself. But it's the best Sabbath homage this side of 1988.
Okay, that's fair. All right, let's get into. So that's Jeff. Do you have anything else on Blue, Jeff?
No, that's good.
That was good.
We got a lot of songs here, kid.
All right, what do you got for number? What do you got? Yeah, number 2. What do you got, Skip?
My 2. It's Shocking Blues Love Buzz, man. Of course it is.
Right. That's my 5. That's my 5.
That's also my 5B.
Do you know what I really love, actually? The first time he goes, dum, do, 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 you hear him kind of off, because it's such a bass. You hear him go, dum, and you hear the pick scrape.
Yeah.
He goes, he's counting in his head. It's like, dum, do, 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 do. And then he goes, I don't do it anymore. I love that rawness. Wasn't even on, as we've touched on, the UK release. Here's why I love this song. It's literally one sentence, I'm a bass player.
Yeah, I get it.
It's
a great bass song.
Like the bridge. Like, he goes for Steve Harris, man. He's like, how far up the fretboard can I go? No, but like also generally production wise, this is like one of the few on this record that they clearly put some into. Like, they pretended there was 2 guitar players. Like, it's layered. The fact it's a fucking Shocking Blue cover. This is the band that wrote "I'm Your Venus."
I know, it's so weird.
Design.
And that song sucks, dude.
That song does not suck, dude.
That song
sucks. No, it took like hold
it's
on.
It's a fucking Razor advert over here. I don't know about you guys.
First of all, that's Bananarama doing that version. That's a completely different fucking song. The original version that Shocking Blue did is fucking psychedelic and dope. So calm yourself. It's not a shitty song.
Their other songs are good. But the Venus song, no.
You've never even heard that fucking song then.
I literally listened to it today.
The Venus song.
Yes, I listened to it today because
you probably heard the Bananarama song.
No, because I listened. Because today I literally went and listened to the OG Love Buzz, the Shocking Blue version of Love Buzz, and I just threw on Venus, which I've already heard in the past.
Did you watch the recent Chris Novoselic version of Love Buzz?
Shocking Blue is dope. Shocking Blue is fucking amazing, dude. Send me a postcard. One of the greatest psych rock songs of all time. Straight up.
You know what? Oh, sorry. Like psych rock, man. They were psych rock. And sorry, to go back to your point. Yeah, Blue is actually. You're right. I never even thought about it. That is their psych rock song. I got all excited and got distracted. But yes. But to go forward to Love Buzz.
Backward forward to.
This is why I like it. So it's a cover, but for once it's not Kurt being like, I'm going to cover this obscure song. It's like, I'm going to cover a pop song and I'm going to make it my first fucking single. Or generally because at this point in his career, like this is the second guest record. I'm keeping the pop songs off. I'm going to try and just ape my heroes. I just want to do a Melvins record, man, because that's what's coming out of Aberdeen right now. I want to fit in. I don't want to be a loser. Like,
yeah.
But also he can't help himself. I've got to do a pop cover. I've got to do fucking something stupid. And I love the fact that, like, on the bridge, like, there's this wah guitar, but he can't quite play a wah properly. So he just goes, wah, wah.
That's true, he does, yeah.
If you're a massive nerd, which Kurt was, and you're a Beatles nerd, which Kurt was, he's nodding to George Harrison. The song Wah Wah, which has him, it goes, wah, wah. Yeah, which is produced by Phil Spector. Like, where it's like a bull sort of throwing everything out. And I'd like to think it's a silly little nod, but mainly I think it's just the fact he just went, I can't use a wah pedal. Wah, wah.
Yeah. Especially when he's probably, when they're all strung out, I'm sure it's, because nothing about this album is very calculated, considering how quickly they wrote it, rehearsed it, and recorded it.
On the hashtag Kurt Cobain drugs timeline, he was a massive coke fiend at this point. Like, they used to call him Kurt Cocaine in the late 80s. Like, he didn't really start using smack to like 89, 90, but he was definitely like smoking a lot of pot with Chris and doing a lot of sniff on the side. Cocaine. But yeah, like the Middle Eastern guitar lick as well. I'm a sucker for a Middle Eastern guitar lick.
I was just about to bring that up too. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the fact to say this is again like showing layers. So you've got the and you go, and if you listen to live versions, he couldn't quite do it live, and it kind of makes it endearing.
He could barely even do it on the record.
Yeah, you know, even with overdubs, he can't quite do it. But there's just something, you know, like Tyler, you with me? The version it's a swap me, not swap me, Spank Through with just a weird kind of COD Elvis impression, and it's when he goes, "You are the queen." Oh
yeah, the heart. Yeah, very Kermit.
Like, there's this weird kind of like Elvis via Kermit.
The queen of my heart.
My heart. Please don't deceive me when I tell you just ain't the way it seems. Like, there's this really endearing.
Why does he sing so weird on this song?
Because you can't feel your love, but like it's just this. But like, I mean, to me, basically, it's that bass line that just
it's the bass line. Well, it's pretty much just looped the entire song. That's another reason why it's so catchy. Because
you guys know I'm a sucker for a bass loop, man. There's just something about this that's very like local band. It's very real. It's very like, I mean, the fact it's a cover, like it's so local band, isn't it? But it's for real. Like, this is the most real cover of all the covers Nirvana ever did. This isn't posing. This is just, this would be fun to do this as our sound. I would agree. Which is the way you should do a cover. And that's why it's my second banger.
All right.
Also, that bass bridge is fucking ridiculous.
And Jeff, this is your 5B, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, this is my 5B as well. So, we went over my 2B with Blue. So, what's your what's your number 3, Jeff?
My 3B is because I'm a negative creep. I'm a negative creep. That's my 3B.
I can't believe it's so high. I can't believe it's so high for you.
Fucking good, dude. It's so funny. This is their most aggressive metal tracks. When you talk about like a fast song, I thought you were talking about this one because like this is. It's not that fast, but it's seemingly fast. It sounds like it's fast, but like this one really comes down to the chorus, dude. This chorus makes this my favorite because it's so fucking silly. Like, it's so dumb. But this is a stone's throw away from being a Melvin song. But I still fucking love it a lot.
No, it's too fast to be a Melvin song. It's too fast.
Yeah, it's not as fuzzy as a Melvin song. But yeah, the chorus too, you know, when he's going, I'm a negative creep and I'm stoned. And he bends the note when he goes up when he's singing that vocal melody too. It's so simple. But it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. The chugging of the guitars.
Juice, man.
Oh man, I mean, this song is incredible. It really is incredible. And it's so much fun to sing. Just singing the chorus. Then I'm a negative creep. I'm a da 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 da. It's just ba 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 ba. It's just like a fucking machine gun. It's stupid.
You know,
he can't help but throw a fucking pop melody into a metal song, man. He can't help himself. He's like this nasty palm mute, but he's like, and also like the actual performance of the vocal, like he's fucking shredded. Like like he can't do it live. He does the live version. He just goes.
Yeah, but when you hear it on the Wishka, from the Muddy Banks to the Wishka, he doesn't sing it nearly as aggressive as he does on this record.
And he doesn't.
That's fine. I get it. He can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, like because his voice was shredded by 1991. But
yeah,
fucking hell, those screams on this.
No, it's fantastic, and you know, there's so much Metallica on this record too. You know, what is this? Yes! 3 years after Master of Puppets. You know, there's a shit ton of Master of Puppets on here.
Yeah,
there's some Kill 'Em All too, which I'll get into later.
Pixies influenced Nirvana. This is way more influenced by the metal scene at the time and by the
100%
hardcore punk scene at the time.
100%.
He was scared to put those kind of because Surfer Rosa had only been out 6 months by the time they recorded this shit. You know, it hadn't kind of gone. And then you get to Sliver by 1990, and you're like, Mom and Dad went to the show.
That's my second
song in my sleep.
That's my second favorite Nirvana song ever. That's my second.
Really?
That's my second favorite song of theirs. Yeah,
that's the one with Dan Peters on drums, isn't it? That's Dan Peters from Mudhoney playing drums. Yeah.
Yep. So, but anyway, Negative Creep. This just how overly fuzzed the guitar is too. I fucking love it. The whole record, really, but. Yeah, it's just overly fuzzed guitar chugging through the song. Fucking fantastic. Love it.
Like Daddy's Little Girl ain't a girl no more. Like, I love the kind of. He's always been obsessed with gender.
But I think
he just likes to be offensive. He just likes to insert himself into like being offensive in those circles.
But this song is like very self-loathing, you know, lyrically. So I think the Daddy's Little Girl part, I think he's just like kind of emasculating himself to his dad. Like I'm not even good enough to be like a girl. I'm like not even good enough for you. And whether I was a girl or a boy, like I'm just not good for my dad at all. You know,
I also thought this kind of like a loser anthem track
it's the same
for
as
sure.
Being a son, isn't it? You know, she should have been a son. It's the same. He's digging.
A lot of daddy issues. I do
love the terrible 80s fade out though.
I know there is quite the fade out. So Negative Creep, that's your 3B, Jeff. You got anything else on this one?
That's it.
All right, so let's get into.
I just want to say, just the Dave Grohl live versions when they finally got a drummer who could do justice to those drum riffs.
Well, yeah, of course. All right, so what do you got for 6B? All right, so what's your 3B, Skip? Third banger.
My 3B, Skip, is Mr. Dale Crover Appears. It is track 2. It is
by Flo the Barber.
That's my 12B. 12B, baby.
You think this is worse than Downer and Sifting? Interesting.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So let's get into this. What do you got on it? Dale Crover. Well, Dale Crover from the Melvins.
I'm going to flip
played drums on this.
Tell me why.
On this comp.
Tell me why this is the worst.
Because I don't like Dale's drums. I don't think his drumming fits the band that well. I still do love the song, but comparatively, I think he's a weak drummer compared to Chad. His style just does not fit Nirvana. And on this record, it just does not fit Nirvana. I just don't like. I don't like how kind of
5 times harder. So
I don't care how hard he hits it. I don't like his
snare. I love how hard he hits.
Yeah, but I don't like his parts. I feel like they're very disjointed on this song. Or really, all 3 of the songs. Not Downer, but this song and
Downer's the worst song he plays on. Like what?
But it's like the least Dale sounding on the entire record.
Well, the
But
one where
anyway,
he sings backing vocals is the one he sounds.
I don't
He's
give a
like him.
fuck.
Interesting.
I don't give a fuck if he sings backing vocals.
Uh,
But also the song isn't. It's like not overly catchy like the rest of the songs. The solo, the lead solo, whatever, it comes in really, really fucking smooth. That's like the saving grace to this song. But otherwise, I do love the song, but it's lower tier because it just doesn't have the pop sensibilities that most of the other songs do, and it doesn't have the heaviness like Negative Creep or School or things like that, or even Scoff or Downer,
like
for that matter.
This song is a straight up metal song. That's what this is. So I do think it's pretty aggressive overall, and it's what's funny,
but it's disjointed.
But like it just doesn't fit on the record. Much like About a Girl doesn't fit on the record, but like Floyd the Barber is just, this is a metal song. This is like a good metal song. It's like a
2 minute, like, because it comes off the back of Blue, which is just this psych rock tune, and it goes into this really weird, creepy 2 minutes of small town horror where it's like kind of Demon Barber of Fleet Street, but in a small town. I love the way like it sounds almost like is he saying shaved? Is he saying shamed? He kind of throws it a different way. Like it's this like it's a horror movie in 2 minutes, and I think Dale's drums, like coming off the flubby fucking snare of Chad to this really defined cracky piccolo snare, like it shows how the Melvins really were like the high school heroes of this. Like they were the guys making records, at this point, and like Kurt was their fucking roadie, and he's like, the drums are way louder, and I think it kind of shows that Kurt was like, oh yeah, Dale wants the drums turned up. But
even Chad's turned up so loud on the mix too. It's not just Dale, like Chad's turned up super fucking loud. I just think I think it's a great second track. I think maybe I place it so high because the sequencing in this album is pretty good, actually. I think Floyd should have been, middle of the record. It should not have been second track. It doesn't.
Ooh.
No, it's not.
Unless you just take out Paper Cuts and put Floyd where Paper Cuts should be. Then
I would take out Paper Cuts. That's not a banger for me.
It's not.
It's a low banger. Low banger.
Yeah.
It's a low banging fruit.
It's my 11B, so yeah, it's low. So yeah, Floyd the Barber. It's fine. It's fine. It's also like lyrically, it's inspired by the Andy Griffith Show. So this is another Kurt thing, Kurt fable or Kurt exaggeration here. Well, he didn't say it, but the media said it. So this song is based around the Andy Griffith Show, all that kind of shit. But apparently, according to Seattle PD or wherever he was found dead, I forgot what city, Tacoma or whatever, on the TV that was playing in the room where they found his body, it was playing reruns of the Andy Griffith Show, which I don't believe. Yeah, that's too convenient. It's just like, come on. No, I don't buy that at all.
Telling you, man, the legend of Kurt Cobain is just insane. It's so big. It's a Loch Ness monster of fucking music. It's crazy.
The amount of documentaries too.
Just for the shits and giggles, where do you guys stand on the killed himself? Moy did.
I think he was killed. I don't think he killed himself. I think he was killed.
I know, like a new documentary just came out and people like are talking about it. I haven't seen it, but dude, the guy was a heroin addict who fucking did not take care of his child, who like was seen dropping the child multiple times. Come on, bro.
I 100% think he killed himself.
Yeah, he killed himself.
The guy tried to kill himself like 3 times on record, which means how many times off the record?
Dude was a shitty dad.
Roma, the guy individually unwrapped 25 for a hypnose, and then a month later blew his brains out. Now, the biggest argument I can hear is, the handwriting's different. Wicked, you shoot up fucking enough heroin to kill yourself and then tell me how.
Seriously.
But also like the amount of heroin, but the counter to that is, the amount of heroin that they found in a system, he wouldn't have been able to pull the trigger of a shotgun like that.
Yeah, but like,
and also
the man who does not have a serious heroin habit. Like, we all know that tolerance is a huge thing.
It is.
And when you're about to kill yourself, the adrenaline pumping through your body, you tell me you can't do extraordinary things? Come on.
Because I am a massive cunt, and I asked Dylan Carlson, the man who bought Kurt Cobain a shotgun, because fuck it, I was 19. Do you think Kurt killed himself? And he went, fuck you, and yes. So if the man who bought him the shotgun told me to fuck off, and yes, my best friend blew his fucking brains out, I'm going to go with the guy who knew the guy.
whatever. I still like. It's more fun to think that he was killed rather than committed suicide.
Well, of course it's fun to
yeah,
think
man,
that
we love
because
the
building the
drama.
legend of Kurt
Yeah.
Cobain, the mystique is more fun than anything else. But dude,
Yeah.
the guy was a shithead.
And
He was.
a drug addict,
He was.
and he'd run out of songs. What's the easy way? Like, it's better to burn out than fade away, man.
All right, Neil
You
Young.
literally fucking wrote it down.
Well, Neil Young wrote it first, but
Yeah.
Anyway, that's your freebie.
So Floyd the Barber.
oh, free
It's my
3B.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do we have anything else on this one?
You know what's funny is like the first distortion pedal I ever bought was the Boss MD1, and I never liked it because it was too aggressive for me. And I even bought like a 5150 amp, which I sold to Tyler because it was like, nah, it's too much. It's too much
Oh,
for
man,
me. I
there's
can't.
so many jokes about the Boss
Can't handle it.
DS1 pedal. Like, there's so many, like, what's in the Boss DS1, and like your first ugly girlfriend would get taken out at least twice. You know,
Dude, I bought that thing like fucking, probably like 22. This is probably like 12 years ago.
So we're good with Floyd. Fuck, we're good with Floyd the Barber, right?
Floyd.
Blah, blah.
I've observed his heritage, and we've moved on. Yeah.
All right. So my 3B is Mr. Mustache. I got the mustache.
That's
here.
my 4B, bro.
That's
There
my
you go.
4B.
There we go. So this is an
There we
absolute
go.
fucking
Linked up.
banger. It starts with just the snare. It fades in with just the snare hits, and then it drops into that fucking riff, man. That riff is an absolute fucking banger, right?
Yeah.
Very Metallica Kill 'Em All,
Fucking
like
metal riff is through and through.
straight up Kill 'Em
It's
All.
like,
Something
it's
off of
like
Kill 'Em All.
50s rock and roll, but on crack. Is what it is.
Yes. and then so after you get the Kill 'Em All riff, then it drops into that verse, and it's just like this kind of like really cool chugging power chord kind of thing he's doing. It's fucking awesome. Fucking love this.
You know, that riff reminds me of Mean Machine by Sugar Ray. That intro riff.
Oh.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
I could hear that.
Yeah,
It's kind of it's just fun. It's exciting and fun. You know.
But Mean
It's
Machine's a little bit heavier. That riff is a little bit heavier, but yeah, I could definitely hear it. It's still in the end, it's very Metallica, very very Metallica. The choruses they're not like super catchy, but it's very very driving and very exciting, so it makes up for the lack of catchiness. It's really the verses that are the hooks of this song, and I just love it for it. I just absolutely love this song. The first time I heard this, I just remember I was walking down the street with friend of the pod Kyle Palo, Jeff.
Kyle Palo.
Him and I went to the warehouse, went to Warehouse Music, picked up this CD, and I put it in my CD player, and we were walking back to his house from Warehouse. And it was it was middle of the summer. It was like 100 degrees out, and Mr. Mustache came on, and it just kind of blew me away. Fucking love this song. The moment I heard it, absolutely loved it. But
Walking
anyway.
to the warehouse.
Walking to the warehouse and walking
Belinda.
back. So
Christopher walking to the warehouse.
that's true.
Wow.
So yeah, Mr. Mustache. So this is your guys' 4B. What are your thoughts on this one?
Jeff?
Go ahead. No, you're the guest, kid. You're more excited than I am.
I mean, to me, like as I said, like it's got this 50s kind of sped up rock and roll. This to me, literally, genuinely.
You could say literally. You don't have to say genuinely.
It points towards Nevermind. This is one song on Bleach that points towards Nevermind for me because it's doing that kind of classic rock and roll power chord sped up. It's got the really sarcastic, like, yes, I am a cow, I am not proud.
Oh, it's so good.
Quite a restrained vocal. Like, it could be like, yeah, something like Stay Away, easy and out as a child. Sentimental rock. Like, it's the, I don't like it one away. Like, it's got this kind of, like, it's quite Nevermind, like, lyrically.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Damn you. Like, it's very sort of, like...
It is very Stay Away, huh? Now that
Yeah,
I'm really thinking about it,
taking
it's
the
very, very Stay Away.
Right? Yeah, the more
Wow, I
like,
didn't really think
once,
about it.
once you say it, you're like, oh shit, yeah, like
Yeah.
different production. Like,
I think,
but
yeah,
it's
it
got,
really
like,
is. But Stay
it's got
Away is a
the
little
Bleach
bit more
power.
melodic. Yeah, but yeah, absolutely. They're very, very similar.
But it's
Very
that
similar
like
song.
it's that kind of like Nevermind isn't grunge. Nevermind it takes a lot from like the Clash. It takes a lot from like 50s rock and roll, like the Beatles, 60s rock and roll. this isn't the same. That riff is like, you know, like it's Buddy Holly on methamphetamines, man. Like with like filtered through sarcasm, like just like it's just, and yeah, but you've thrown in the Bleach kind of. There is the howl. It's just
God, that wail at the end of that, just the way he's screaming.
He never does it. He never does it after Bleach. He never really goes for a vocal like Negative Creep, like School, like Mr. Mustache, like that screech disappears.
Once again, it's because he shredded his vocals. That's what he did.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is a shame.
Weirdly, if you tour for over half the year for 4 years and do a lot of heroin,
and who knows what else he was doing too. You know, you got the booze, the weed, you know, all the cigarettes that he's smoking. You know, that itself is going to fuck you up too.
Cigarettes a day.
Yeah. Absolute fucking chain smoking all fucking day and night. But anyway, yeah, Mr. Mustache, you got anything else on this one, Jeff?
Nope.
Nothing on this one?
Nope.
All right, let's move on then. Let's see here. What do we got? So for the we're on our 4Bs. What do you got for your 4B? I think we are. What was your 4B, huh, Jeff?
Yeah, that was my 4B.
Yeah. And that was Skip as well. My 4 was Scoff. Have we done your guys' 5? Because we've done my 5.
Dude, we only need like 3-4 more songs here.
I mean,
we're not going to talk about Paper Cuts, are we? Because nobody.
No, I don't care about. No, we don't have to talk about that. We don't have to talk about Big Cheese.
What about Siftings? Do we care about that song?
No,
like that is the perfect closer for this album.
Not a banger for me.
Yeah,
it's a
that's
closing song. It's
lower
like
tier.
A closing song. It's a Melvin song.
Yeah,
I think. So that just leaves School, Downer, and Swap Meet. Swap Meet, Swap Meet. The chorus is really what makes it. It's my 9B as well.
Yeah, it's like Swap Meet. The things I want to talk about are literally. Some of my favorite lyrics is that he keeps his cigarettes close to his heart.
Yeah,
I mean, picture like it's not back and forth between a woman and a girl.
He keeps his cigarettes close to his heart.
He will never know. He loves them more than he could ever show. Keeps his cigarettes close to his heart.
I think this is the chorus on this song is probably one of the. It's one of the best choruses on the record. Just this chorus.
Yeah,
the song itself, but the chorus.
The riff of the whole main song starts on a hammer on, so it sounds like you've kind of come in halfway through a song, and you're like, what the? Because it's like.
Yeah, it is a really weird riff. It's a weird drum pattern too. It almost sounds like it's off time at moments, but it's really, really weird.
But then melodically, like lyrically, it's really pop.
Yeah, it is.
So again, it's kind of it's a perfect marriage of Kurt's like indie guitar playing with his poppy songwriting. But it doesn't quite meld.
It doesn't hit. No, it doesn't quite hit. But also in the choruses too, after every line, you know, he keeps the cigarettes close to his heart, and then Chad does that like drum roll on the snare, and then it drops into the next line, another drum roll and then into the next line. It's just a well written chorus. It's just unfortunate that the verse doesn't quite match the greatness of that chorus. Otherwise, this could have been one of the best songs on the record.
It's got
had the verse been better.
One and 1 foot in the other, isn't it? It's trying to be like a kind of Melvin Z grunge song, but also Kurt's trying to put it into this poppy.
Yeah.
So it's not a Mr. Mustache. It's not about a girl, but it's not a downer and it's not a Paper Cuts. It doesn't know where it wants to be.
Yeah,
that's true.
So it's neither one or the other.
And that solo is sloppy as hell too. But it works. It works, but it's sloppy as hell.
It's pretty wild. This is still a really fucking fun song, dude. This is an amazing fun song.
It's still great. It's still a B. It's still a banger. It's just
you got to put it somewhere, I guess, right?
It's classic Kurt in 1999. He's torn between being indie than Val and writing these pop bangers. He doesn't quite know what to do.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's true.
He does a halfway house.
He does both.
We get a mid-tier banger.
Yeah. So let's get into Downer right now. the last of the Dale Crover songs we haven't talked about yet. What do you guys have on this one? Let's go with you, Jeff, first, since you're first in order. What do you got?
I for sure, like, the thing that I thought most was like rise above. Like, this is a Black Flag song. That's what I
can
thought.
hear that, yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. This is like the most punks track on the album, and like you just are just doing a Black Flag cover. That's cool. But I do like this song. It's fucking dope and it's cool, and I like it because of that. And that's fun, and that's like clearly like they were influenced by Black Flag. Like, who the fuck was it, right? Writing music at this time, and that's cool. That's fun. It's cute.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a very frantic song, much like a lot of Black Flag is. Like, it's always like they're trying to keep up with Greg in Black Flag, because Greg does whatever the fuck he wants on guitar, and everybody else is trying to keep up with him, and that's how Downer is. Everybody's trying to keep up with Dale because Dale's drumming is way too spastic. He's barely holding it together, but Kurt and Chris are just trying to keep up with him at this point. So the Black Flag comparison is absolutely perfect. Except Dale is the weak link here. So
for the band, because I do agree with you, Tyler. I think like him playing songs for this record just doesn't match, because the dude's a seasoned, he knows how to play fucking drums. He knows how to play in a band.
Have you guys seen the Melvins?
No, I never seen the Melvins.
No,
I never really gotten into the Melvins though.
I saw them play Houdini, which Cobain produced, and I used the term extremely loosely because they kicked him off because he was too strung out. And Lysol, it's like a kind of, they played a residency in Bristol, and I went to a couple of those shows. Fucking awesome, man. And Dale Crover can fucking play, and he's so good at that kind of, because they play with two drummers and they mirror each other, and I'm like, mate, not only play, but to play just like
this is fucking King Crimson. Why
intense,
do you have fucking
man.
two drummers, dude?
Yeah, but imagine like playing stoner rock with two drummers. Imagine how fucking like that wall of sound, man, is intense.
but okay, so like Dale Crover, fine, he's a great drummer, but it doesn't fit this style. Like, you got to have a drummer who has like iconic parts. Like Chad Chaney, he's not, like, technically speaking, he's not the greatest drummer, but he writes really great parts. So does Dave Grohl. Like, they both write incredible drum parts, very, very catchy drum parts. I mean, Chad wrote In Bloom. Like, all the drum parts on In Bloom are Chad. It's not even Dave. I mean, Dave recorded it, obviously, but they're not his parts. And Dave's come out and said a million times,
he gave
like,
full credit to Chad. Yeah.
100%, as he should.
How about Chad wrote riffs, Dale wrote grooves? Yeah,
but he wrote grooves, but they weren't grooves. They weren't stuff that fit the Nirvana sound well, that fit Kurt's.
Down is not a B for me. Like, my only notes.
But I'm just saying, like
spoken word, Black Flag. That's it.
But once again, like, Dale, he's a good drummer. He fits the Melvin sound well. But as a Nirvana drummer, I've played on these Nirvana songs. They're good, but they're nothing compared to the Chad and Dave stuff. They're just they don't fit the style. Good, but they don't fit the style.
This kind of goes in line with like your love for Scott, and like I just don't like, dude, Chad,
Scott Raynor.
He's not a great drummer. Like, dude, anybody could have fucking played his parts. He just happened to be playing those parts, so therefore now he is part of like the lexicon of Nirvana. Same with Scott. Scott wasn't a fucking crazy great drummer. He just played really fast. Bitch, like any fucking punk drummer could play the exact same thing that Scott played. Get the fuck out of here.
Scott's drumming on Dude Ranch is fucking great. It is
just
absolutely
fucking fast.
I would
get
argue
out of here,
that Chad
dude.
Channing was a better drummer than Scott Raynor.
Scott Raynor's didn't know. Like,
no,
Scott is complete. Like, I don't want to call Scott overrated because nobody rates him anywhere except for you. And every time you say it bothers me. I don't like it.
Scott is an underrated punk drummer, 100%. Scott is.
But Chad wrote more interesting parts than people give him credit for. His snare sound is shitty.
And I'm not criticizing Chad. I'm not criticizing him at all. Jeff brought up the Scott Raynor thing. That's what
I'm saying. Like, Chad wrote cool stuff for sure, but like to say that Chad like made Bleach is like saying like Scott made Dude Ranch. Those are stupid things to say. Chad is a throwaway drummer, just as Scott is a throwaway drummer.
Makes Bleach, like, that bass holds together this entire fucking record. In every song, what's the best instrument being played? It's fucking Chris Novoselic playing a bass. Like, he holds this entire record together.
He does.
Chad could have played on Dude Ranch and played it just as fucking well.
we're all over the place right now. We're talking about Chad. We're talking about Scott. We're talking about Chris playing the bass. Like
Because
none of this
Down
makes
is
any
not an
fucking sense.
interesting song to talk about, man. That's why.
Okay, let's. It was just a song to talk about, the last Dale song to talk about, and I really just kind of wanted to talk shit on Dale. That's really why I wanted to talk about it. So let's.
On Dick Dale. You're talking shit on Dick Dale.
I would never talk shit on Dick Dale. So let's get into School. Really, the last song we haven't touched yet. So Jeff, what do you have on this one?
That's my 8B.
It's a mid-tier B for me. It's my 7.
Like the big takeaway for me is I thought this was just a squirrely ass metal track. This song is pretty fucking grungy though. Like the bridge when he's repeating the you're in high school again, them screams.
Oh yeah.
Like that was pretty dope right there. And that scream transitions back into the chorus. That's like double chills right there. That was good.
Yeah, that is nice actually.
That's cool. But
Simple, heavy, and perfect, man. That's what this song is.
God. So where's this rank for you, sorry, Tyler?
It's my 7B. It's mid-tier, but it's such a repetitive song lyrically and melodically that it's so much fun to sing. You know, there's like no lyrics.
I've written. It's a really big, silly 2-note riff, which is always fun. But my point is, why would you put the less good version of Negative Creep first in the album?
Why would you put it?
It's just before Negative Creep. It's just Negative Creep, but not as good.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. But I mean, you can make that argument about any thrash band, any metal band too. It's like, you know, they're all kind of doing this, like on a record, they're all kind of doing the same thing. You can say it about Sabbath, you can say it about Metallica. It's like, well, why would you put this one thrash song before this song? Why would you put this one metal song before it?
School is basically Negative Creep, but without the palm.
It is. Yeah, that's true. Okay, it is.
It is pretty much like the same thing.
But it doesn't mean you need to talk shit on it. But okay.
No, it's still a great. It's still a banger, bro. Like I've listed it as my 9B. It's still a banger. Like the only banger underneath it is Big Cheese. After that, I'm out of bangers. But it's still a banger.
So one of the highlights too, outside of like the really how catchy it is, the bridge in this where Kurtz does his solo and then the guitar cuts out. And he's just kind of like singing ominously over the bass and drums. I've always loved it. Always loved it.
Mate,
so
it's such an easy classic. Like just cut the guitar, just go bass and drums. It's like it works.
Doing a lot of kisses today.
A lot of kisses today.
A lot of kisses today.
Pleased to be here, man. I'm pleased to be here.
Pleased to meet you.
I've drunk a bottle of wine.
Anakin Skywalker over here. You're a Jedi too. Pleased to meet you.
Smoking death sticks.
All right. So yeah, I mean, really, we've talked about every song on here, which you know, I'm impressed. I'm honestly impressed. So let's give our final thoughts on the record, and then rate the record based off of our world famous 3-point rating system, where 3 is a perfect album, 2 is a good album you're going to continue to listen to, 1 is a bad album, give it a shot, and 0 is the worst thing you've ever heard. So what do you got, Jeff? Go.
I do like this record more every time we kind of like get into like a Nirvana episode, and my musical tastes go in different directions. But you kind of come back to your. You didn't put it up to the mic; it was just like in front of the mic.
I didn't need to. I put it up to the camera. Yeah. Put up to the.
I don't want to hear it. You can't hear a crack on the camera. I want to.
You can hear it in the mic. You can hear it in the mic.
I didn't hear anything. So
because you got bitch ears, that's why you got BEs.
I got B's.
You got B's.
B's nuts.
All right, continue.
Bees make me
severely derailed there.
All right, Jeff. What do you got? What do you got?
I don't know what I was even saying there.
I don't either.
Literally have no fucking idea. Anyway, I'm gonna give this a 2.75 because I do think this is a great fucking record. I think it's amazing. I don't think it's perfect, but I will also do this little asterisk there too that I think this is probably like one of the most underrated grunge records that has ever existed, because it is like almost maybe even the only grunge record that has ever existed. There's nothing else that fucking sounds like this, dude. Everyone else is just trying to sound like what they think grunge is. Whereas like these guys, like this was grunge. This was it. Nobody had a term for it. It was no solidified term quite then. So it was just, this fell into like the stoner rock category, the kind of metal category. But every grunge record after this was trying to recapture what people thought was grunge, while missing the point that this is what grunge sounded like. And that's wild. That's what I got.
Okay.
Wild.
All right. All right, Skip, what do you got? So Jeff gave it a 2.75. What do you got on this one? Final thoughts, rating it. Go.
Kind of continue off Jeff's point of like, yeah, like, I mean, so grunge, what was grunge? Grunge really was this small town sound that came off the satellite towns of the Pacific Northwest. Like, that's it. I'm talking like I know America. But no, like, yeah, that's, you know, like, it was the
You've been here before.
Melvins, it was Black Flag. Turn around, Tyler. I'm right behind you. But no, it was
surprised.
The Melvins. It was, thrash metal. It was all these tiny independent bands, Black Flag, stuff like that. You know, like these sporadic punk bands that created blooms that small town guys linked up to. Like, you know, that's, you know, can you imagine being in a basement show where these three fucking losers show up? One's 6'5", one's 5 foot nothing, one's this kind of flubby drummer. And, you know, this noise comes out and you're like, fuck. Like, the reason that Bleach sounds like Bleach is, like, all these other bands, they're going over their heads, man. Like, they're a small town band because bands didn't tour fucking Aberdeen. Bands barely toured Seattle. It pisses it down with rain all the time. You're not going to come around. Like, so
fucking out of the way too.
Own sound, based on ideas of records they've half heard, and that's why kind of the Melvins and Black Flag like hang deep over this record. Like, it's crazy how quick Kurt would develop as a songwriter, but I maintain that the songs were there already. The pop melodies we've spoken about, him basically trying to hide the pop on this record and holding back songs. As a kid, I thought this record was weirdly inaccessible. The more I listen to it, the more accessibility I hear. Like, it's hidden behind cheap production and crap distortion pedals. But the reason this album holds up is because there's fucking melodies in even when he's trying to hide them, there's melodies in every song, man. It's a fucking solid debut from a band that would go on to do things that these days, like in 2024, you have no Nirvana. Music doesn't mean that much to people. Like, the industry doesn't exist for a never mind to happen ever again, and that sucks. But also, we should actually probably appreciate the Nirvanas more, and take away the mythology of Kurt Cobain. This isn't a Kurt Cobain pod. This is a Nirvana pod. This is a really strong debut record where they have chosen deliberately the songs that are the most cohesive. This is a 2.5. It's a fucking good record. Everyone should have it in their collection. About a Girl is an outlier, but this is,
and it's the biggest banger.
This is like most of your records are basically a bitchin' live set. If I turned up to see Nirvana in 1989 and this was a live set, I would leave fucking happy. 2.5. There it is. It's Bleach. It's the first album I ever bought.
2.5. Wow.
Fucking nearly 20 years, more than 20 years later, I'm still listening to it and I'm demanding to do it on a podcast. That should say enough about it.
On the 35th anniversary, yes. All right. So I can't believe you rated this lower than Jeff. That's wild.
Interesting.
I took into consideration what this is doing for the scene too. I just a little fanboy over it, then peter out at the end. Like, the fact that people are trying to make records that sound like this, unknowingly trying to make records that sound like this, is wild. Like, people were making grunge records to sound like Nirvana while thinking they were trying to make records that sounded like grunge, but realistically, they were trying to sound like fucking Bleach.
Yeah,
I mean, 2.5 is a pretty decent rating.
Well, it's something.
Shit.
So my final thoughts on this one and my rating. Obviously, I love Nirvana. They're just one of my top bands of all time. I've been absolutely obsessed with them. When I first heard Smells Like Teen Spirit, I've just absolutely been in love. And once again, one thing, the thing that really makes Nirvana stand apart from the rest is something that Weezer also did on their first two records, on Blue and Pinkerton. They perfectly meshed the metal sounds with the amazing pop melodies. That's what made Weezer so perfect back in the day, and that's what makes Nirvana so fucking amazing. Is that they were able to mesh those two sounds, those two unlikely styles and sounds, into very great cohesive songs. And with that, yeah, the production, it's rough, it's wild, but it's amateur, but that's what they were going for. It's still very punk, still very grunge in this sense. It's a fucking perfect record. It's 3 out of 3. 3 out of 3. Jeff guessed it. 3 out of 3. I don't do it often, but it's just like I've listened to this record hundreds, if not 1,000 times over the years. And every time I listen to it, I have a grin on my face. I'm singing along. I'm just having a fucking blast. When I listen to this, any other Nirvana record, it's the same thing. Even the sad shit, like the Unplugged record, like I still have a grin on my face when he's fucking playing, Where Did You Sleep Last Night, or fucking Lake of Fire. I'm grinning. I'm smiling.
You would smile at that stuff. You would.
Yeah, I'm a fucking terrible. I'm terrible. They were a perfect band.
It's not unreasonable to give this a 3. That's not unreasonable at all.
No.
For what it did to music, how it's connected with so many people, and even to this day, like I said, what are we 25 years on now since I first heard Nirvana? I still feel the same way that I did 25 years ago.
Quarter of a century.
So it's just not many bands could do that shit. So anyway, 3 out of 3 for me.
It's true.
You guys suck. You guys gave us shit ratings.
I reckon in 25 years, people are still going to be listening to Nirvana.
Yeah, you got to. You have to. I mean, look at all the modern day like bands who are citing Nirvana as influence, like these 20-year-old kids, or people
T-shirts
that are putting out music. It's like Nirvana's still pretty damn relevant, which is surprising considering how electronic music and pop music has taken over.
Kind of become the Beatles, as in the band you reference and go, oh yeah, I listen to XXXX. It's like, I listen to Nirvana growing up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So there you go. 3 out of 3.
Better or worse.
The best rating out of all of us. So I don't know. That's all I got. Thank you all for listening.
The best rating, yes. 3 out of 3 is the best.
So thank you all for listening. Thank you, Skip, for coming on.
Smash that subscribe button.
Smash that subscribe button on the YouTubes. Follow us on the Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good shit. Tell your friends. Spread the gospel of Asinine Radio. Jeff's got his fake pizza there. Once again, thank you, Skip, for being on the podcast, for staying up late, all the way from merry old England. And that's it.
Quite early for us, actually. It's only 1:15.
Well, okay.
It's nothing. It's chump change.
Thank you. Genuinely, thank you guys for honestly, literally, of all the fucking records we've done, this actually probably is the one for me because it is the first record I ever bought, and I literally bullied my way onto this episode by holding Tyler at gunpoint.
You did. All you said was, "Can I come on and do Bleach?" That's literally all you said. It's like went, the farthest from bullying.
Yeah.
I want to do Nirvana.
No, I think I wrote, "When are we doing Bleach then, Tyler?" And you went, "Next week then." I went, "Yeah, I'll see you there."
Yeah, come on next
week.
It
formed pretty fast. It kind of worked out though, with everything else that we did.
It's been really great. Like, nice. It's a beautiful album. It's not perfect, but it is. Everybody should listen to it though. So maybe in that sense, it is a 3 out of 3.
It is a 3 out of 3 because I said it's
Everyone
a 3 out of 3.
Listen to it.
But all right, cool. Okay, that's on the no-no list. Or is it on the? Do we put that on the no-no list? I don't remember now.
It is now.
I know Jeff and I talked about that a few weeks ago. Anyway, yeah. Thank you for listening. That's it. That's all.
That's all.
Dave Grohl.